Can you still think in the same way that your brain was thinking 10 years ago? Do you think that your brain is still working the same way it was working 10 years ago? Well, there are different ways of thinking about it, right? You can be glad that your brain changed because, of course, we are expected to be a little bit better. I'm talking about that every episode here, every video that we record, that I expect you and I expect myself as well every single day to be at least 1% better, or perhaps 0.5% better compared to the version that we were yesterday. So having a brain that keeps evolving, keep creating new connections between the neurons, that's very nice. But what about your thinking process, the way that you solve problems? Do you think that now using artificial intelligence to solve so many things in your day, are you still able to think about the solutions that you are providing or the problems that are appearing in front of you? I want to reflect with you based on the data and some interesting facts that are coming from the market right now. First of all, we have a report published by Gartner with a prediction that sounds a bit strange depending on how you read it. But basically, Gartner is saying that by the end of 2026, this year, half of all the global organizations will require some kind of AI free test to make sure that the candidates they are evaluating, that they are going to hire, can actually be the best match for that role. And why this is happening? Well, basically, we have in many different positions and many different professionals right now. Take software development, for example, AI appearing as a great way to help, to improve, to support the architects in the way that they are solving problems. So the software engineers, they are using AI to make things better. That's good. And actually, it's good that the technology, the evolution from a technology perspective keep evolving and that we bring that to our careers to use in our business. So the point from Gartner is not about AI free in a way that you are expected to never use it, but that you know what are you solving or how to solve a problem without AI as well. Thinking back to the example with software development, you are expected to be the engineer, the one who projects, who looks to the problem and think about the solution that will be possible to solve that kind of problem. So that solution will be implemented in a specific way that your brain connected with the techniques that you develop over time are maybe the best fit to solve it in a good way for you and for your possible customer. So the solution or the way to get in the solution should be in a person's brain. And then for the implementation itself, to accelerate the process, of course, AI can be a big supporter to brainstorm the solution, to perhaps implement the code, or even to validate some tests, validate some different scenarios for that solution. But still, the engineering behind the solution and the problem solving should be in a person's brain. And with that information from Gartner, we have basically an interesting phrase in that report from Dario Plummer. He is the VP, Distinguished Analyst, and Chief of AI Research, what a tight one, at Gartner. And he presented the organization's strategic predictions in this Congress and also in the report. And basically, what he's saying is this, I will read for you: the atrophy of critical thinking skills caused by generative AI use will push 50% of global organizations to require AI free skills assessment. So it's exactly what I was describing to you. Companies trying to find a way to evaluate that the candidates can actually solve a problem and that they know what they are doing. They can use AI. Maybe they should use AI, but they know what they are doing. So, of course, with that, we can make a lot of reflections only on that data per se, the report from Gartner and the concerns from the organizations. Because talking directly to you first, who are in a management position, a leadership position, someone who has in your role the responsibility to hire people, do you think that today you can still evaluate people in the same way that you were evaluating 3, 4, 5 years ago? It's crazy how fast things change, but in many areas that is exactly the case. And for you, leader, if you don't understand, first, that's the first point, if you don't understand the technology itself and how it affects in a good way and a bad way the employees in your team, maybe you are behind a very important curve of knowledge that should be happening right now for your company. That is knowing why, where, how technologies like that can support your business and your team. But also, we have many reports. We talk about that in another videos here. We have many reports from MIT, from Stanford, and many other research who are saying that AI, depending on how and for what you use that, can be a big problem for your brain. There is a famous study that was published, I think, end of the last year, where they evaluated many people using, in a one group, using ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, other kind of AI to solve a kind of problem in the beginning of the test, and another group that was AI free, so they had to solve many different problems in the same kind of problems, but without any AI technology to support. So the result of problem solving the problem itself was not the point of the discussion. The point was that what happened after this test, the first part of the test, they put all the groups together and they had like this kind of free talk between them, have a moment of just relax a little bit, and then they came back to their seats and they were required to write a text. So just by themselves. No AI, they should write like a simple one-page text with a specific theme around it, so a specific subject. And basically, the test showed that everyone who used AI first, who were exposed to AI in the problem solving part, had very poor text compared to those who didn't use. So the study had many other tests. You can read the official report, and if you don't want to rely only the information I'm giving to you, you can read the article as it is published. But the fact is, it is proved that AI can affect your brain in many ways, depending on how and for what you use that. And if you are giving to AI, to the technology, the freedom to think for you, think in your place, basically put your brain responsibility outside of your body, you are giving to AI the chance to actually replace you. I'm sorry to say that because basically the term that Gartner is using for this kind of moment, it's cognitive outsourcing. So basically, outsourcing your brain. And if you do that, or if you are doing that right now when you're solving a problem, letting AI go throughout all the thinking process and this problem solving process for you instead of be the one leading it, using AI to research, using AI to support you, but still being the one solving the problem, thinking on the complexity behind the problem, you are for sure creating a lot of weaknesses for you. And any human muscle that you don't train, that you don't exercise, will get weaker over time. If you go to the gym for one whole year and then for the next one you will stop training only your legs, for example, you can be sure that after a while your legs will be much weaker than it was before. And it's the same for your brain. Unfortunately, you don't see the effect in the same way that you see, like physically in your muscles, but with your brain, you also have some kind of big problems. And if you don't use your cognitive capacity, unfortunately, your brain can, the facts and the studies are showing this, it can get weaker over time. So back to the point of work and jobs and concerns, that is basically what we've been talking a lot and many other everyone is talking right now about the fear of being replaced by AI. If you are proactive, using, learning about the technology, but keeping understanding where you add value and where you can add even more value using AI technologies, you are on top of the curve of those professionals who are actually driving what will happen next. But if you're letting AI do everything for you, you're actually giving them the chance and showing how it can replace you. Because if it can do everything for you, why they need you? They can use only the robot and solve all the problems. Think about project management, my area. I can use AI, of course, to support me when I'm gathering information for a report, when I'm structuring all the information that I need to consider for a risk management, to evaluate the cost of the project, to see what is happening when we are effectively implementing the project and using the budget, using the money. AI can support with a lot of things so I can manage the project in a better way. But still, the one who you use those informations to negotiate with a stakeholder, to solve a conflict with the team, to consider what to do when a deadline is not going to work anymore. You need to speak to executives that things are delayed. You need to reorganize, replan the project. It's still the human who is doing that. So the project manager doing that or following that direction is probably the one driving how AI would be for project managers in the future. But those who are just letting AI do everything and even, working so many more projects, being more productive, but using AI for everything, not even thinking, not even using their brains anymore, those are for sure showing how they can be replaced in a few years.